Today, we're unpacking a massive concept: mastery. We usually picture perfection as this lightning strike of flawless genius, right? Like someone just wakes up and gets it perfectly right on day one, but we're going to flip that entirely on its head. We're looking at the blueprint of mastery through failure and discovering how absolute perfection actually kicks off with some kind of messy experimentation.
Think about it. What if the greatest breakthrough you could possibly have actually came directly from a massive failure? It goes totally against the grain, right? I mean, we're always taught to avoid messing up at all costs, to just nail it on the first try. But today, we're challenging that. We're looking at a piece of history that proves the exact opposite is true. Okay, let's dive into this and head way back to the ancient world.
We're talking about Pharaoh Sneferu, the founder of his entire dynasty, and honestly, history's ultimate beta tester. The truth is, before perfection, there was experimentation. Sneferu wasn't just sitting back on a throne hoping things would magically work out. He dared to test. He dared to fail. And, most importantly, he dared to adjust. He was totally willing to put these colossal, monumental ideas out into the real world, learn from what crashed and burned, and use all of that to set a completely new standard for his entire civilization.
We're going to trace the historical timeline of his wildly ambitious architectural projects. Here's how the phases lay out. Phase 1 was the Meidum Pyramid, Phase 2 the Bent Pyramid of Dashur, and Phase 3 was the Red Pyramid. He didn't just give up after one shot. These three mega projects are distinct, sequential steps in his unbelievably rapid optimization process. Let's break down exactly what went down at each step.
Starting with Phase 1, the Meidum Pyramid. His very first grand attempt at building a monument on this scale suffered a complete, catastrophic structural failure. I mean, it literally collapsed. Imagine your very first beta test leaving a ruined, broken core just standing out there in the vast desert for everyone to see. Talk about an expensive bug, right? You're testing with millions of tons of limestone. Honestly, for most leaders, a failure that huge and that public would be the absolute end of the road.
But not for the great tester. Moving to his second attempt, the Bent Pyramid at Dashur, this is where it gets absolutely fascinating. We have undeniable physical proof of his adaptation. Literally halfway up the structure, there is a visible angle change baked right into the stone. They actually adjusted the entire shape mid-construction just to prevent another collapse.
And that brilliant pivot leads us straight into Phase 3, the Red Pyramid. This is the third attempt, and man, he finally nailed it. The Red Pyramid is completely smooth, it stands tall, it's proud, and it is universally recognized by historians as the very first true pyramid ever built. This is the ultimate climax of his iteration, a complete masterpiece that was born directly from the absolute ruins of his first attempt and that kind of awkward mid-course correction of a second.
What did this incredible iterative process actually produce for the generations that followed?
Well, Sneferu was the father of Khufu. And if that name sounds familiar, it's because Khufu is the pharaoh who built the Great Pyramid of Giza, literally the most famous pyramid of all time. But here's the thing. Khufu didn't just pull that flawless design out of thin air. Sneferu's series of super public failures, those real-time corrections, and his ultimate mastery, that literally created the blueprint of greatness for his son. His willingness to fail laid the actual foundation for the greatest wonder of the ancient world.
Failure is data. Let's take this 4,500-year-old history lesson and connect it directly to your reality right now. Because whether you're building a business or just working on yourself, this applies. Sneferu's formula for building an empire is actually remarkably simple. Step 1, fail. Step 2, adjust. Step 3, master it. It's just this continuous loop of iteration. You try something massive, like the Meidum Pyramid. It collapses. Boom, that's step 1. So you try again and tweak it midway, like the Bent Pyramid. That's step 2. Then you take all those hard-earned lessons and you build the perfectly smooth Red Pyramid. Step 3, master it. That is exactly how empires are built, back then and right now. So the crucial point here is the contrast between these two mindsets. The traditional view treats failure as an endpoint, right? It's a sign to stop, a sign you're just not cut out for it, a definitive period at the end of the sentence. But Sneferu's view, it treats failure simply as data. And when you look at it that way, it totally loses all that heavy emotional weight. It just becomes actionable information telling you exactly how to adjust your angle for the next attempt.
The winner is not the one who doesn't make mistakes. It is the one who optimizes the fastest. I absolutely love that. That is the massive core takeaway here for both business and life. The winner isn't the perfect person who gets it right out of the gate. No way.
The winner is the great tester, the one who rapidly takes in the data from a total collapse, changes the angle, and builds the next iteration faster and better than anyone else.
I want to leave you with this one question. How quickly will you optimize your next failure? Sneferu left us a literal blueprint written in millions of tons of solid stone. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to dare to test, dare to adjust, and ultimately, you will master it. Take the data, change your angle, and just keep building.